My 996 is 23 years old and it has a fair share of problems.
It's just always something.
There's still a lot wrong with this car. Not enough to stop me from driving it because I do drive it a lot, but still a lot of minor things that need to be fixed. That's probably due to the fact that it's 23 years old and has 150,000 miles.
So after owning this car for a few years and fixing tons of things on it, what is still wrong? For starters, there is a check engine light. In conjunction with that are ABS and PCM lights. Front tires are rubbing, which is probably due to aggressive wheel fitment, and it's got a high idle and vacuum leak, again probably related to the check engine light, ABS, and PCM lights. Also, with it being 23 years old, it has some interior rattles and noises, but one in particular is really bad, and there's some other fixes that the car needs as well. You know when you have an old project car you're working on and you drive it and the things that are wrong with it just keep adding up and adding up, you eventually start to despise the car. This is clutch in. It'll go down, and then it'll start coming back up. Foot not on the gas.
Granted, if you guys remember how this car looked when I got it, well, then you'd think it looks mint, which it kind of does compared to then at least. Well, it has been somewhat reliable for me. It's never actually let me sit. Same can't be said for that car or the piece of shit that's outside.
Well, there's your problem.
Oh no. But there are a couple minor issues to deal with this car that's been bothering me a lot lately.
It's just the absolute worst. I hate that sound so much. That's got to be fixed.
And I just got to get it dialed in. And a big reason I need to get it dialed in is because there may or may not be some power being added to the car very shortly. Now, some of the things that need addressed on this car are the check engine light and the ABS and traction control lights, which I'm certain are all tied together. And I think it comes down to the MAF or some type of vacuum leak.
I've checked codes on this car dozens of times, and it always seems to come back to something MAF related. It won't directly say there's something wrong with the MAF, but something that leads to either the MAF being faulty or a vacuum leak.
But this thing is making a nasty rattle inside. And I can you hear that? Just right now, there's something loose in the headliner, and every time the exhaust hits a certain RPM, like around 3 grand, it's just like it buzzes in there. It's like,
Sounds so bad. Not the exhaust, it's that rattle.
so I gotta get that taken care of for sure. There's an entire screw loose. There's a whole screw there. That's, well, it's unscrewed, and that was not for me. I never had this sunroof panel or anything like that off, so maybe it just rattled itself loose after a few years. I'm not sure. Now that should have taken care of the rattle, but I won't know until I drive it.
I'm not going to pretend that this thing has no squeaks and rattles because it's a 23-year-old car, so of course it does, but the rattle in the headliner is gone. Much better. That just made this car a lot more enjoyable to drive. Just have all the other issues to fix now.
That's a good start. Now I can move on to the next problem. If I clear the check engine light, eventually it comes back. Sometimes the PCM and ABS lights come on, sometimes they don't. That's what has me confused. This video is brought to you by Gentlebands, who make the absolute coolest wedding rings. This particular ring here is the anvil, and it's made out of tungsten. It's got a really cool design to it. It's not just a plain old black ring.
Yeah, if you don't want to wear it on your finger, they make really cool chains now.
This is their black box chain, which are super, super nice. That way, if you don't want it on your finger, you can just wear it around your neck. Whatever keeps the wife happy. And these things are super, super robust. They got some weight to them.
These chains are stylish and great for people who work with their hands. If you'd like to get your own or get a gift for a friend, you can use discount code MATT25 for 25% off.
Now, Gentlebands has an almost unlimited amount of rings, styles, designs, and materials on their website, so be sure to check them out because you'll find something that you'll love. So if you don't want a super plain Jane boring ring like everyone else has, go to gentlebands.com. Not only do they have a huge assortment of rings, they offer free engraving, free returns, and free lifetime replacement.
It's hard to imagine any rings more unique than these between the material, the designs, the craftsmanship. You really can't get any better.
Another huge shout out for Gentlebands for sponsoring this video. Now we'll get back to some 996 content. The last time I did a cold start on this, I swear I could almost hear air sucking in there, but I'm not 100%. So I kind of just want to snoop around a little bit. Nothing obvious. No. Probably going to have to lower the engine again, at least a little bit. Ooh, that's still smoking hot back there.
This is not the first time I've lowered the engine to do a boost leak test. All my other boost leak tests they just didn't go very well. Let's just put it lightly. But I gotta get this thing sealed up 100%. Luckily, it's pretty easy to do. The boost leak test, that is.
By the way, guys, I do have a website to sell merch. This sweatshirt is available along with a whole bunch of other stuff, and I'm actually revamping the entire website, so a lot of the stuff is going to be gone. It's going to have a new name, a new URL. Everything about the website is going to be completely different. So if you want anything that's on there, now will be the time to grab it because most of it's going to be gone and gone forever.
Immediately upon adding air pressure to the system, I could hear a massive leak right on top of the engine.
So, time to lower the engine again.
You can hear all the air escaping right here in this clip.
Well, good news, ladies and gentlemen. Those clamps weren't completely tight. That's on me whenever I did the throttle body and intake plenum. And also, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see. This vacuum hose is completely, well, let me just pull it off for you. I can't because it's zip tied, but I'll get it off. This vacuum hose just has a big old hole in it. Look at that. That'll do it. I don't even know how this happened. Not sure how long it's been like that, but I'm gonna get that replaced real quick. Now, I thought I replaced all the vacuum lines, but this does not look like one I replaced. This feels like OEM because it has that bend in it, but I have high temp silicone everywhere else. I don't know why I didn't do this. This one's on me. Yep, that was it, because now it's holding, at least with my finger. Oh, that's good news. Oh no, I just pulled the other end off. Crap. I don't know where that goes. That's not good. All right, for some wrestling around, some disassembly, yeah, it's gotta be this guy right here. Some check valve that goes to something else that plugs in. Either way, that's where this goes. There to the throttle body-ish, and then everything should all be swell. I sincerely apologize because it's gonna be hard to see, but new hose is on there and zip tied, connected here and also zip tied. So, just solve all the problems. Now, we can put everything back together. Everything's put back together. I'm really excited to do this test because I don't think it's ever been a great boost leak test. I think this is going to be the best one yet, by far. And I'm going to need no boost leaks. Yep, that did it. Wow, I got to show you guys this. I can't believe it. It's completely holding boost. Come here, guys. Look at it. It's holding, I think that's 15 PSI. It's never ever done that before. Oh, this is incredible. I'm so excited to drive it.
Boost leak test complete. It was time to move on to the front end and figure out why my tires are rubbing. So I had to do a little bit of clearancing on the fenders with a BFH, and I also had to put a fender liner back in that I just completely forgot about. And while I was at it, I also adjusted the coilovers and just made them ride as soft as possible.
Another reason why I think I'm getting rubbing issues, you see the caster, the wheel is not centered in the fender well, for sure. It's definitely forward and it's super close there. So I think that's really the main issue here. So I'm gonna see if I can adjust that underneath without completely ruining my alignment. Thing is, I don't really know if I added caster or took caster away there. It's hard to tell. Now, my wheels aren't perfectly straight, but here for reference, it's nearly touching. Let's make the change and see what happens. You see with my Renline GT3 control arms, there are caster adjustments here, so the back one should pull it back a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a ton, but it might be just enough. So if you look at it now, it looks it looks pretty much the same, but we'll see when it's on the ground. It might be a little better. All right, it's finally time to get this thing down off the ground, see if that caster adjustment helped at all, and most importantly, see if my vacuum fix worked. I think it's going to be a whole new car. Idling great, but we'll wait for the cold start to be done being cold. This car does sound amazing though. Oh yeah, guys, it is so much better. Let me show you. So not only is the idle absolutely spot on right now, but before what happened is if I turn the AC off, the idle would get so much worse as, you know, the idle would go up. So it goes up for a second and then settles right back down. Oh, that's outstanding, guys. Another thing fixed. Now I do have one more thing to do before we take it on a test drive. That's something this car has needed for a while because it's been seriously neglected all winter.
Neglected is an understatement. This thing has been seriously kind of just left to rot over winter. It is disgusting, dirty, and it needs cleaned up. It actually needs a full clay bar buff and wax, but we'll get to that another day.
And before you guys even say it, this is a microfiber brush. It's super, super soft. It's not hurting anything. If you guys don't have one of these giant drying towels, the hype is real. This is the first time I used it and it dried the car completely. There's still more in here that could dry. I'll link this below because this is great.
What's not great is just how nasty this interior is. This has been a full winter season of driving and I haven't touched the inside. It needs clean desperately, but we're gonna save that for another video. Let me just give it a quick cleanup today, but it needs a full in-depth detail for sure.
Best vacuum ever. This is way better, guys. I didn't do a detail. Literally, I just vacuumed and cleaned the floor mats, but it looks miles better. It needs a full detail for sure, scrubbing everything down, conditioning the leather seats, getting all the crap out of the cracks of the dash and the vents, etc. But that's that'll be saved for another video.
Right now, no check engine lights, no ABS or traction control lights, none of the above. Everything is perfect. So hopefully it stays that way. The RPMs definitely drop much faster like they should between shifts. Before they would kind of hang because obviously I had a pretty massive vacuum leak. And idle is exactly where it should be, even with the AC off. Super pumped about that.
All right, so good news and bad. The tires are not rubbing when I'm hitting any bumps. This was another spot where it bottomed out every time I had to slow down, so I'm not gonna slow down at all. Everybody listen. Hey! Didn't rub there at all. So that's good. The bad news is I did not fix the rubbing when turning. Yeah, it's rubbing both sides, just like it was before, so I gotta do something else about the caster on this thing. No bueno. Right here at this nice S-curve, this was the worst bottoming out. I still slowed down a little bit. All right, listen. Ah! Yes! Yes, no rubbing. Oh, that's so good. Oh man, this thing is just running and driving so good so far. Better than it ever has. Definitely getting into boost faster too. But now it's running and driving near perfectly. Or it is driving perfectly.
Just have to fix the rubbing of the tires when turning to full lock. I got to adjust the caster somehow. I've actually driven this car multiple times over the past week or so. No check engine light has returned. No ABS or traction control lights have returned. I think we can finally say all that stuff is fixed. Yeah, I think it's ready for some power upgrades now.